Good evening, everybody. How are you doing this beautiful Tuesday and warm evening, especially here in the Memphis area? Uh, we are honored to be joined tonight by the one and only Miss Irene Tan, better known in the community as the Single Barrel Queen, as we've been told. Irene, thank you for joining us.
Oh, did we lose sound?
Oh, I think you're muted.
I am muted. Sorry about
There
that.
we go. All right.
Yeah, I'm so used to flipping it up, and yeah. Well, thanks for having me. This is great.
The
Um,
pleasure's ours, believe me. Um, First off, just your background is fascinating. You, getting started in uh, Custom Software Incorporated, your business that you were in for a long time,
yeah.
doing software for multiple industries. What made you decide to get into what you're doing now, getting into alcohol and
The liquor
ultimately to
store and
what you're
all?
doing now?
So I had 1,200 bottles of wine in my basement, as I like to tell most people, which is really the truth. So I actually didn't really drink whiskey till 2014. So I was more of a wine drinker, and we would have, a wine of the a house wine for the year, and then became house wine for the month, and then was house wine for the week. And then I said, okay, this is getting a little bit silly to have that much wine in the basement. I should maybe own a store, part of a store. So the idea was I was just going to do a little investment and be a silent partner. And the store that I was buying my wines from, I said to the owner, I said, hey, if you ever want to like expand and get another store and need an investment, let me know. He said, well, I'm opening one in your town. I was like, perfect, very convenient. So I was never meant to and do this. If you told me, so I've been doing this for 13 years now. Told me, 15 years ago, 13 years ago, I would be doing this, and we're like, what are you smoking? Because I had zero intention of doing any of this stuff. Didn't even know I had a palate for it. So, because I really, really enjoyed the software work I was doing. I was consulting, finding kind of like how I'm finding distilleries now. I was always fun contracts that were fun to work with. Didn't like to have a boss. Don't like to get bossed around. So I think I've taken the same approach to working with distilleries. I don't really want to own a distillery. It's too much work and too old for that. Also, don't want to go work for somebody and get told what to do. I'm not very good at that either. So I'd rather just go out there and explore and find people who are like-minded. Well, mostly actually people who have good products to begin with, and then they're not jackasses, and then then we can come to an agreement. So
Yeah. Um, Now, you said you got started in 2014. That's when you first went into the liquor store business. Is that correct?
yeah, late 2013, and so
Okay.
my business partner was a wine guy, and so he goes, well, you go take care of the brown spirits, which at the time I was like, no idea what he was talking about. Because I knew about gin and vodka, like what the hell are brown spirits? They never anybody call it that. If you had said whiskey, I'd be like, okay, I know nothing about it, but I will try. And so I did. So in February of 2014, he's like, you take care of the brown spirits. I'm like, all right. So I was working contract up in Franklin, Mass at the time, in Massachusetts. There were a lot of stores that had tastings, like Wednesday nights, Friday nights, whatever it was. So at least once or twice a week after work, I would go and check all the, well, online first to see what stores had tastings of things I might be interested in learning. So I did that probably almost, I wouldn't say every week, but at least every other week when there was something good going on. So learned very quickly and then realized that, oh, I actually don't mind this stuff. This is quite tasty. So I started bringing the bottles that I tasted that I liked into the store. Within a year, the wall that he had built to put whiskey on, I filled it and then some. And so that's how it all got started. And then single barrels were kind of not quite a thing then yet. There were so many of them. I remember Four Roses back then going, well, how many would you like? I go, I like a few, but we can only afford one. But blending is it was kind of funny now going back, to 2015 was our first single barrel, which really wasn't a single barrel, it was a blend, and it was Angel's Envy back in the day when they would come around. They would be like, well, barrel A is our Angel's Envy in a first use port barrel in a short amount of time. Barrel B and barrel C, the whiskey spent the same amount of time, but barrel B is a twice or three times used barrel, and barrel C is a first use. And so then they would bring, the pipettes and the beakers and everything to so people will blend, which I thought was really cool. So I think that's kind of how I got into it. I'm like, this is kind of fun.
Hmm.
And of course, then the rest is history because after that, I started buying barrels. Probably most notably, I think the one that really started to put us a little bit on the map was, I believe it was my first and second barrel of Whistlepick 10 year. The Whistlepick came to Connecticut in about 2015, 2016 timeframe, and Dave Pickerel was when they launched it in Connecticut. They had invited about 25 retailers. I was one of them, and he brought what he thought was the top 10 best barrels and lined them up low proof to high proof, and that's still how I taste whiskey when I go to distillery. It's something that why did I do that? Because that's what I learned from Dave. Um, and he said, okay, we're gonna taste through it, and then we got a book, and we got he talked about the whiskey and stuff. And so there was at the time I didn't taste enough whiskey, so it was a lot to taste 10 whiskeys from 110 proof to 120 proof. So I said, all right, I know I have to taste and spit quite a bit, but instead of like writing all the tasting notes and stuff like that, which I still don't do a lot of tasting notes, I started just giving them stars. So if I like them, they got at least 2 stars. If I really like them, they got 3 stars. If I didn't like them, they didn't get a star. So I got one that was like, and 5 stars were that was my top. So we tasted through about to five, and I go, ooh, number five is pretty good. I gave it a little 2 star. Then we kept going. I got to number nine. I was, oh man, this is definitely a 5 star. And I got to number 10, and that's a 5 star. And I was like, oh crap! If I could buy one, which one would I buy? And then I looked around, and nobody bought those. Somebody bought a barrel, but there were none of those. Which I was like, wow, maybe my palate is like just different than everybody else's. They bought some of the other barrels that I thought they were just okay. So so I called my partner and I said, "Hey, I want to buy this barrel." He said, "Oh, no, we can't buy it. It's too expensive," which at the time was quite expensive. So I
Yeah.
found a partner to partner with, and I said, "Can you take some, and we'll take some." So that was somewhat acceptable. So we ended up with 3 out of the 11 cases, and I sold mine out very quickly. So I had to buy a couple cases back from the other partner so that I could have some.
Yeah.
So the people who came around to buy those barrels said, "Holy crap, your whistle pick uh, barrel pick is really amazing. Can't wait for you to pick the next one." So of course we were sold out. So then I could go buy the next one, and I think the next one, the second one, is probably my most favorite of all time. And that one I didn't go to the distillery to pick. I said to Dave, I said, just my palate from the first one. Just send me the samples you think would make sense to me. So it's 129 proof is point 0.9 proof is what I remember about that barrel, and it was just absolutely amazing. Mostly Alberta juice, but it's probably my most favorite whistle pick of all time.
Hmm.
Sound. Yeah. Sorry, I missed out on that one for sure.
Well, if you come visit, I might still have some bottles in the basement. Uh-oh, I think you guys might be frozen.
Okay, we're back. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. You're frozen on the other side.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what happened. Everything just kind of
Went off. I'm
blipped
like,
out
what
on us.
happened?
Hey, wouldn't be a live stream without that.
Then we lost the
There
chat
you
over
go.
there too.
That's okay. I can bring it back up.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Yeah, I find that interesting how you you chose the barrel that you liked because I know that we've gone with other groups to do barrel picks, and the consensus is usually well, you got to think of what everybody's palate, what's going to sell, what's everybody going to like. And I'm like, forget everybody else. I want to pick out what I like
There you
because
go.
I'm thinking, what's the chances that that a lot more people would like something that's a little more off profile
Hmm.
than something that's general profile?
Yeah, so it's, I mean, I'm very fortunate in that my customers actually, the palates quite align with mine. So I've brought some. I think a couple of my trips, I brought some customers with me to pick a barrel, but generally I don't, only because I always ask when people want to help carry my luggage or something or tag along. I always ask, what is your 50 meter sprint time? Because a lot of times I am just, when I'm on the road, I mean, I got to make my time and my money count, right?
Right.
So I'll go, maybe 5 to 8 distilleries in the week that I'm away, and it's kind of like, well, I get a don't even get a good breakfast going because I want to taste the whiskey first, right? And then after that, it's like, okay, then if I have an appointment in the afternoon, I'm eating pretty blah and light in between, so that I can finally enjoy my dinner later. Because for me, eating food, if you eat pretty blah food, you're probably going to be okay. But there's still, even if it's like, for me, if there's a little extra fat on the food or something like that, it it changes how I taste the whiskey.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I always, when I blend, I always blend at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like when I had my daytime gig, I would roll out of bed at about 4:30 or so, and then 5 to 6 I would blend, name my whiskeys or whatever it is, and at 6 o'clock I'd start my day job, and then I'll taste the blend after it's set for a while, like at lunchtime. And so that worked out really well for me. I'm not sure my liver would agree, but for at least for the, and that's the only time that I feel like I can do it really well. But and when I have to be a judge in a competition, then it's a slightly different ball game. But I think takes a bit of practice. But literally, even if you take the smallest amount and you spit, after about 25, 30 of them, your palate does get a little bit tired, or at least I know mine does. So I take a little break. Uh, Crackers really don't do it for me. I actually do cold water.
Mm.
That seems to kind of calm my palate down a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, I can start again.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing is you are. Oh, it seems like you're always looking and learning every opportunity you get. Um, I, found out through because being a part of the tribe and everything.
Mm,
And congratulations on achieving level four sommelier, by the way.
thanks. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a bit of work.
we're hoping to attend the level one in the near future
Nice.
ourselves.
Good,
So
good.
we know there's a lot of work involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Hmm.
on top of that, you have an organization called Whiskey Mentors. Can you tell us about that?
So that's actually so I had to kind of give myself like a trade name of sorts, right? So as you know, in the US, when you're a retailer, you can't own whiskey, right? So all
Mhm.
the whiskey that I have partners with out there, I partner with them. I don't own the whiskey, but the Irene Tan Spirits Company is a brand name. So Whiskey Mentors was sort of started so that I could consult with distilleries. I thought initially I was going to do tastings, and I was just like, that's just too much work. I mean, we do tastings in the store all the time. So, but I do a bunch of charity events, and so those kind of filter through the DBA of Whiskey Mentors. And the idea was that I hope to. I'm such a sponge for information, and I hope that I'd be able to, help educate people about the things that I'm doing if they were interested. So hence why the Whiskey Mentors. And actually, recently somebody asked me if I could be their mentor, and I kind of thought about it. I'm like, hadn't really thought about it, but it was the first time somebody actually asked me, and I was like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and you were talking about doing stuff for charities. I know you've done
Mhm,
stuff for uh, like the food pantries and
mhm,
volunteer fire departments and schools, libraries. zoos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which one would you say that you are the most active uh,
I would say
with?
so we do an annual one every year for like our local, so all of those entities that you had mentioned outside of the zoo are in my town. They're local to my town. We're a small town, 5,025 people as of the 2020 census.
Oh,
So I feel like if you're a small business in a town, in a small town, you need to participate and give back, and that's how we give back. The way I used to run my charity events was awesome. Like in a 2 hour event, we could, I think it was our second event in 2020, just before COVID. We had, I think we like banked about 15 grand after we took some expenses out, and that's how we were able to, donate that money. But by the time it came to my third one, somebody in the state, I don't know who, I could find out who, I don't really care. They got really jealous and called the liquor control on me and said, "You can't be doing any of this. You need permits for all this stuff." So I say, all right, so I had to do it differently, and I don't like the way we're doing it now because we don't get to generate as much money for the charity. I mean, we don't keep any of the cash. We just take our expenses out, which is, cost of the bottles, whatever it is. And even
mhm.
then, I mean, some of the bottles we just donate. So the zoo is starting to become a much bigger thing, and it actually coincidentally, I was out filming little some video shoots for the Roger Williams Zoo event that we're having next month on the 21st. This year is for the American bison, and Nutmeg is the only bison left there. So we're trying to raise funds for to bring in two more bisons for her, a male and a female. So hopefully we have a lot of little baby bisons running around not too long from now. It's really, really cool. So we did a video shoot, and actually the bison, uh, Nutmeg, the bison is kind of like my cat Chauncey. I don't know where he is right now. Usually he wants to be in on the action. She just knew we were doing video shoot. She came right out in the middle of the field so we could all see her. She was beautiful. And what I like about supporting the zoo is that they like every year, like when we go back, like last year we did the Humboldt penguins um, exhibit called Penguin Point, and I got a chance to see the penguins when I was there. So actually, as you walk into the main gate to the event space, we always have it in the same spot. You can actually get to visit what you helped to support last year, which I think is a beautiful thing. And the year before was probably the what's 2 years, 3 years before that we had a serval cat we were trying to well that they had rescued. It came too early. They didn't have habitat for her, but so they needed some big chunk of change in a hurry. And so we amazingly that year raised like I don't know like $38,000. I mean they were like we
Ooh,
were all giddy, and this is a 2 hour event. My whiskey sums volunteer, my crew volunteer. We pour about 20 whiskeys that somebody buys and donates for the event. And so then when Habitat was ready last year, I think when we walked by, she actually came out to say hello to us. Well, at least that's what I thought she
oh,
did, because yeah, that's really, really cool. So very, very, nice when you do work like this, that you actually see what your donation goes to. It's not, lining somebody's pocket somewhere.
Right.
yeah.
So, yeah, so
Oh man. Um, yeah. Well, on top of that, you've got, I mean, just us talking an email back and forth. You have a ton of projects going right now.
yeah.
It's like, where do you find the energy to do this? I need some of that.
I
Uh,
actually don't need to sleep, so literally don't need to sleep. They have tested my genes. I'm a mutant. And so it's funny. I always thought there was something wrong. Why do I need sleep like most people? Five is optimum. Three and four I can live on for a long time. But apparently there's a mutation in the gene, and they actually sent me a watch to wear for 2 weeks. But they interviewed me for a couple of 2.5 hours before they go, okay, well, you might be one of us or one of the people we're looking for. Apparently there's a community of people out there who are called short sleepers
mhm.
or super sleepers or whatever. You're not really a super sleeper because we don't sleep, but short sleeper is probably a more accurate term. And we have just boundless energy, and we don't know why.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, just some of the stuff that you've got going right now. you you were a whiskey judge for the ADI Spirits.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just came back 2 weeks ago for that. I got invited to be a judge last year, and I got invited back this year to be a judge, and that's really very it's an honor to be a judge there. Last year was all about whiskeys. Oh my God! By the end of the day, I was so tired. I'm like, please don't double oak your whiskey anymore, and leave it at high proof, or
yeah,
or or finish it when it was not necessary. Um, and but this year it was fun because I got to taste some of the spirits first. So then just a spattering of whiskeys here and there. I got to do vodka, and I got to do mezcal, agave spirits, gins. So that was really fun. It was a nice change of pace because by the end of the first day, my palate was not exhausted.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they say variety's the spice of life on that.
Absolutely, yeah. So it was really, really fun. But yeah, so actually, so last then I came back. It was kind of crazy schedule. I came back and I just got back on Sunday night from Vero Beach because the Treasure Coast Craft Spirit Festival. One of my buddies down there, Ray Hooker, who is also a Whiskey Tribe fan, obviously. He likes to tell a story of how I just happened to flew into Vero Airport, drove around the corner, saw the distillery, and took a left turn and went to visit, and he wasn't there. But his wife recognized me and said, "Oh my God, Ray's gonna be so pissed that he's not here." So I said, "I'll be back tomorrow. I'll come visit." And so small distillery. I love what they were doing, and so we just kind of like let's keep in touch and see what happens. And so I ended up buying. He bought contract bottles for other people and stuff like that. So Down Island Spirits, excuse me, Mike brings in some really cool rums, and so I had one that was it's a Venezuelan finished in a Jamaican rum cask. So it's like
Oh,
full of
Interesting.
goodness and funk, but really delicious. So he's been trying to tell me that I need to go down to Florida when they have this festival. I was like, oh, timing wise, see how it works out. So this year, it was the one weekend I was not going to be away, elsewhere already. So I said, I'll show up. So what a blast! That was really good. I got to meet a whole bunch of. I had no idea there was that many craft distilleries down in Florida,
Mm.
yeah.
and some making some really really nice stuff. So I'm pretty excited. So hoping I partner with a few of them will give me more excuse to go down there, especially in the winter.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but speaking of partnering, you've partnered with several distilleries. I know you're working on one with Maverick.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, what day today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, Thursday I'll be flying out there because Friday we're gonna launch the blend I did for them, and then obviously we're gonna be pouring it at the Texas Whiskey Festival on Saturday.
yeah.
And
Nice.
that was a what a crazy fun project that was. I mean, that was so. Here's the thing: none of these projects were ever intended, right? This is just me going to go visit. Well, so I go visit because I might be, buying a barrel for my store, or I might be buying, sourcing some barrels for the Crowder Barrel, and or
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, like, oh, maybe I should be partnering with whoever it is. So I knew of the Maverick Distillery, but last year the ADI conference was in San Antonio, so it's very convenient. So we were walking downtown Main Street and to get to our car, and so my buddy Cliff goes, "Hey, that's Maverick Distilling." I'm like, "Oh." So I poking my head in the window and I saw a bunch of ADI folks there. I said, "Oh, let's stop in and say hi because we got a few hours to kill." And of course, the rest is history because I met Mark. We started talking. He's just showing me some of the really cool stuff that he was doing, and I was like, "Okay." I said, I work with a lot of Texas distilleries. Bought either blending, besides Crowder Barrel, Lone Elm, I did a
Hmm.
Flimbo blend for them way back when. And then of course I bought a ton of barrels from Garrison Brothers, 22 of them. Bought two from Devil's River. So yeah,
Oh,
so I'm very familiar with the Texas. I think I said in like 2016, 17, I said that they're like the Kentucky of the West, except that they don't have to wait so long. So they will probably get bigger, which may or may not be true.
Yeah, I know you've also gone out and done stuff at Andalusia, which is one that we enjoy as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, we got to taste the reject. I think I told you that at the Bastards Ball, that they let us taste it. That
Hmm.
I think that was mouse.
Yeah,
That, or is it moose?
Moose, yeah.
moose.
Yeah,
Moose.
moose.
So
Yeah.
he went
Yeah.
and just filled up, and then he came around, and started pouring all our Glens, and was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good. How do we buy it?" He
Yeah.
goes, "You can't." I'm like,
He goes,
my
Irene put
face.
her stamp on it. It's like,
There
oh,
was that, yeah. I'd say that, yeah, that is probably my favorite distillery in Texas to work with.
yeah,
I mean, but both Mark from Maverick and Ty from Andalusia are just really good people,
yeah,
Oh,
easygoing, you know. I mean, the cigar malt that you're talking about, which I use all those whiskeys for, it was also a thing where we weren't. I never planned to make a cigar malt, right?
hmm,
We went to it was our some reunion, and so I was supposed to be on campus all day, and we got up early. And we're like, the morning thing is gonna start a little bit later. We'll come back for lunch. So my buddy Cliff and I went to so let's go to Andalusia. We always go to Andalusia when we go to Texas. So we did, and there we are just sitting on the a stage that they have in the right in the still house, I mean in
yeah,
the rick house, and so Ty starts pouring stuff, and when you give me more than three things in my hand, I start putting it together, and that's exactly what happened. I just he gave me a few things. I was like, hey, this is pretty good, and he tries, that's really good. I said, oh, Ty taste is quite cigar-y. I think we're gonna call it a cigar malt. Hey, can we make it a project? He's like, sure, and that was it. That's crazy. But yeah, so that was in October. So we
hmm,
missed most of our summer reunion until the evening because we were just having too much fun.
yeah. And then you're going to be doing SIP in Louisville. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I think that's going to be, it was supposed to be end of this month, but I believe the board of directors met for Bourbon Women, and the original idea was something I came up with Mel Maddox from formerly from Old Elk. I said, hey, we should make a blend for the Bourbon Women. It's a good anniversary coming up, blah blah blah. And she goes, well, how many blenders? I go, I don't know, maybe three. So then, uh, while we were there, Lisa Wicker came and gave me a big hug. I go, you got my third blender. She goes, what? So, so that's how it all worked out. So yeah, we've had a bunch of discussions with the Bourbon Women group, and they decided they wanted to open up to other women in the Bourbon Women group who are in the industry, which I think is a great idea because the whole thing of it is not. It was just more of a give back than anything else. Not like none of us going to profit from it. The
Hmm.
the point was that since was really fun to have the women collaborate and make a cool blend for the group. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I understand also you're doing something with Woodhead as well.
Yes. Oh my God, that is. Well, all my projects are exciting. They're very exciting to me.
Well, I mean,
So
anytime you get around Gary, it tends to get a little exciting.
yeah, no. So I met Gary 2 years ago now at the Baltimore ADI conference, and I thought it was just he was just fascinating because being a pretty technical person, I love how he geeked out about his corn. I was like, why is nobody
Oh yeah.
listening to this man? Man, he's got some amazing stuff going on. So I said to him, I said, so I had the idea back then I was going to make a red, white, and blue bourbon for the whole country. Silly girl, that's just too much logistics that I can't handle. So I said, so I was in search for red, white, and blue corn, and he goes, I got all different color corns. And I'm like, okay. So I started looking
Hmm.
around a little bit. All right, I can get blue from here, I can red from there. I couldn't get any good white corn until I talked to the folks at MB Rolling, which is in
Hmm.
your part of the state. And so I'm like, all right, now how am I going to? So then I have to find a distillery who's willing to, you know, own that whiskey. So they just got too complicated. So then I ran into Gary again in San Antonio. He goes, hey, I remember you. You gonna come visit me? And so he let me taste his Bourbon-esque, which is his purple corn that he has developed. Very proud of it, very tasty. So I said, all right, I'll come see you. He goes, all right, you come see me. So I did. I saw him in October, just before Ball last year. And so I tasted all of his single distillate, all the White Dog, charted it out. And then I tasted them aged and I charted them out and go, oh, okay, I see the similarities and stuff like that. So he goes, so what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to make a red wine blue. He goes, I already made one. I made a red wine blue corn whiskey. You want to taste it? I'm like, sure. So I tasted it, and he goes, what do you think? And I go, well, I said, not knowing what percentages you use, but based on my charts, what I charted, your different corns, I think you use too much red. I would have used more blue. And I looked at him seriously. I said, I think you're going to need a blender. And he looked at me seriously. He just burst out laughing. He goes, when do we start? That's
Yeah,
yeah, that's kind
There
of
you go.
crazy like that, but that's how it happens, right?
yeah.
And then we just got into this, all kinds of crazy discussions about different things, and I came home with a suitcase of corn, of all the
Oh
different
my.
color corn, which is awesome, guys. Because he's like telling me all this technical information, and I'm like a sponge. I'm like trying to absorb all this stuff and going, wow. And it was really interesting for me to be able to try out what the different color corns uh, how they participate in a blend,
Yeah.
and how to make the best of it. So he goes, well, come back next year in like late February, early March. So which is what I did, and stayed over a couple of days at his place and made a pretty amazing blend. I am so happy with this 14 barrel blend. Um, and it was pretty good. And then I found that last barrel that just made it explode. I was like, okay. So I can't wait to, yeah. So we're gonna launch that one at the distillery first weekend, first Saturday in June.
Hmm.
And then it'll
What
only
happened
be
in the
available
middle?
online.
Where are they at now?
What happened?
Uh-huh. They in
They're
Alabama?
in New Florence. They're an hour west of Louisville. Not
Yeah,
Louisville,
they're in
St.
Kentucky.
Oh,
Louis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we may have to make a little road trip up around that time.
yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
interesting.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm trying to make a big day of it. So it's kind of engage the Bourbon Women chapter in St. Louis and Kansas City. I'm like, hey, if y'all want to come, I think one of the members owns a cigar lounge in Herman, which is not too far
Sure.
away. So I think we'll have a food truck there, hopefully, maybe some live music and the
Hmm.
cigar bar, and then I'll be there, all day, uh, talking red, wine, blue.
Oh yeah.
What's
So.
that event? What is it called?
So
So it's going to be, I think it's June 6th. Let me find my phone. Where's my phone?
June 6th at
Somewhere.
Woodhead.
It's the day after our
Yeah.
anniversary. We might have to do something.
Hey, we can make an
That's
anniversary
special.
trip up.
Yeah. Whatever that first Saturday is, I think. I think it's the
Okay.
6th. Yeah. Did something to my phone. It's now among the
So
missing.
it's going to be
Uh-oh.
at Wood Hat.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it is right at the Whithead Distillery. Yeah, and I think we're gonna only make it available online and at the distillery. So I'm actually going to be uh, driving my car out that way because I can't fly back with that many bottles. Because he said, "Do you want it, at your store?" I'm like, "No, it's just too complicated, because if we get it registered in Connecticut, then it'll take a chunk of money and then
Mm,
the distributor takes some more money, and we're like,
Yeah.
let's not do it like that." So
Yeah.
so
Gotta
yeah,
let
so
that
I
breathe your system. Everybody
exactly,
gets
yeah.
a piece before it gets to you.
Yep. Yeah, so
Um,
it's June 6th. Yeah.
okay. Now, you also have something going, a German single malt. Tell us about that.
Yes. That is very cool. It is going to be the gentlest blend I've ever made, but so aromatic and absolutely delicious. So not a lot of people know about German, single malt, right?
Hmm.
But they just like beat the crap out of I think Scotland in a competition late last year. They took,
Hmm.
I think they only entered like under 20 and took like away like 11 or 12 gold medals.
Wow.
So yeah, there's quite a few of them out there. This one is Marrakesh Specialty Spirit in Hagen. They're about 2.5 hours west of Frankfurt. So how I even got to know Klaus Berm is the story owner, is his one of his best buddies is one of my customers, like 2 towns over from my store. So when he
Oh,
came to visit, he goes, you gotta visit my most favorite whiskey store," and so he brought him over, and Klaus was there for 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks he visited me twice, and in typical fashion, he brought a bunch of stuff, and towards the end, I'm blending stuff for him, and he goes, "What's that? I just made that with all your stuff." So we were talking about making a cask strength RTD because RTDs to me, most of them just suck. There's just not enough
Yeah.
oomph in them. So what I want to do is like make something that is, whatever, is 40, 50%, 50, 50% ABV, whatever, but blend it that way, make it that way, and make it ready to drink. And all you need to do is, bring a bag of ice. So he goes, well, come visit and let's make something. We'll blend something or whatever it is. So I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that was like 2 years ago. Of course, I get busy. Whatever project is most convenient to me and most exciting is what I go for first. 'Cause going to Europe to do that, it takes a little bit more effort. But I did get over there with intention of doing other things. So I was there last October. Probably the most interesting um, journey to find, to harvest all the barrels, because most of his caches are in World War II bunkers. So they're in these caves where there's limestone, still dripping from the ceilings and stuff. Nice and cool in there, dark. On the outside, all you see is just a door, and then you walk inside and you flip the lights on. It's like, holy crap, this is amazing. But because it's so cool and damp in there, the whiskey loses more alcohol than water, so it makes it quite soft. Was telling me he actually needs to go into the barrel slightly higher proof so it doesn't, become a non-whiskey once it gets below 40 ABV, right? But there was one that we harvested at the front. Well, it's not a front. I mean, it's a museum with a lot of interesting, all kinds of rock formations, all different interesting things. But it's like kind of on TV. You show up and you talk to the guy behind the counter, and he goes to gets a key. Then you follow him through some passages, and then he opens the door and he flips the lights on, and there are stalactites and stalagmites all around you. I was just like, I just like stepped back, half a million years. It was
Hmm.
wild. So we harvested some whiskey from that barrel also, and so it ended up doing. I think we picked 32 or 38 of them. And once we got all the samples, we lined them up on the long table in the distillery, and I was like, for about one split second, fear struck my heart, and I'm like, what if I can't make a good blend out of all of this? I was like, just to chart them and deal with it. So I did, and so out of those, I ended up picking. It was actually only three barrels, I think, at the end of the day. I narrowed it down pretty quickly, and Julia Norney, who is sort of the Nancy Fraley equivalent in Europe, uh,
Hmm.
had no idea she was actually the keeper of the cask there. So Klaus had invited her to come hang out with me. So we spent a day together, had a really good time. Plus, she lives in Frankfurt, so she was able to give me a ride back to the airport after. So that was a really fun project. And while I was there, I actually got to make, I had choice of making a gin or an akavit. And I decided that all I had to do was just flip literally the botanicals, caraway versus juniper. I'm like, I can make gin elsewhere. So in the tiny little put together still, made a really, really nice akavit. I'm very excited about it. And he goes, so you want to add water to it, to prove it down? I'm like, no, I don't want to carry water for nothing. I'll carry it at whatever strength it is and come back and it's all gone, sadly, because it's
Oh,
really, really nice. Yeah.
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 Now
Yeah.
you
So,
also did a blend
mhm.
of some Irish as well.
Yes. So that was my next stop. So
Yeah.
after I left Germany, I went I was on my way to Clonakilty in Cork, but they were not available to see me till Tuesday, and it was a Monday. It was a Sunday. So Sunday morning, I flew into Dublin. I've already made some arrangements. It's nice to be in the trade because I just say, hey, I need a tour of this and this and this. I shouldn't have to pay for. So I got a really nice tour in at Jameson for the not your regular tour, but where all their special, high-end Middleton stuff is. So a chance to taste through all that. Where else did I go? And Sunday, I think I had two different tours. And then Monday morning, I think I was supposed to go to Row and Co. and Guinness later in the day. They said, let's get you to 5 o'clock. So I'm like, all right, so I got time. And I didn't even rent a car. Had a blast walking around the streets of Dublin. Met a lot of Americans there. They were all just vacationing, I guess. And so I said, well, maybe if I just hop on a train to Northern Ireland, I can go see Two Stacks and Killowen. So I did. hour and a half train ride, whatever it is. So went up to visit with them, tasted some amazing whiskeys. Then they drove me around, and we went down to Killowen. And that um, I wish I had a videographer there because we were walking down from the distillery down to the Rick House, and it was raining, and then it was sunny, and almost might have been a rainbow there, and all of that, and they were just trucking down to this place to find some
Oh,
barrels, so it's really cool. But I got a chance to taste some of the white dog that they were playing with different malts and different yeasts. So very, very fun. So it was a non-work day for me, kind of. It was an educational day. And the next morning I took the train, the bus. I think it was the bus down to Cork, rented a car, and then started working. So Clonakilty, I've bought 6 single barrels from them. In the first 2.5 years I knew about them,
hmm.
to a point where people are like, "What the heck?" Same like with Garrison Brothers. Why is she buying so many barrels? Because it's good stuff. So
Yeah.
when I do that, I really help put a distillery on the map, right? Because everybody in my state pays attention. I don't pay attention to what they do because I don't have time. Because I'm just busy doing my own thing. But whatever I do, everybody wants to know why did she do that? If she bought 5 barrels, we should get one too. I'm like, that's just silly. But yeah, so did a blend for them. Really some really nice stuff. And probably is getting it over here because
Yeah.
they would both the German distillery and them would like to brand it under the Irene Tan Spirits Company. So the one that my cigar malt is the fictitious company. It's nothing
Yeah.
but a brand. So I'm trying to figure out how to get them both here. Hopefully sometime by the fall, I hope.
Okay. You just said something about cigar malt.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh, so that's the one at Andalusia that I made.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Um,
And
and
the next one's
then
coming. I'm gonna formulate it in July or August of this July. I think I'll be there. So
okay, and it's also you also have a gin as well.
yes, gin is my label is just about done, and yeah, uh, I'm actually it's gonna most likely be 2 gins. So I'm gonna make the
Oh.
gin, and then we're gonna bottle half of it and sell it. And if it does well, then we'll probably continue to make that gin that way. But I'm going to ship a barrel from my store. At
Mhm.
this point, it's most likely going to be the my 13-year Augusta, which after they dumped the whiskey got shrink wrapped and it's still shrink wrapped in my store right now. I was waiting for another distillery to be ready to accept my barrel, but they're not quite there yet, so I'm going to ship it down to Andalusia, I think. And I won't have to wait as long. The last one I did took 16 months. I'm hoping because it's in Texas, maybe in a year or under, we'll be able to taste the barrel aged version of it. Because the
Oh,
first one
nice.
I did was amazing. I mean, it was so good. And people look at more of that. I'm like, no, I'm not giving up my last 6 bottles. I already gave up my last 6 of my last 12 bottles. So, and it was a barrel aged so that you could use it in place of whiskey in old fashioned. So the botanicals, um, along with the notes that I got from the whiskey, the bourbon basically, was what I thought would complement each other really nicely and lend itself to be a good vessel to be an old fashioned.
Yeah. Well, you also have a special Manhattan style rye uh, whiskey coming out of Colorado Springs.
Yes, we're waiting for one barrel to show up. Something to finish in. Yeah, so that's something that I talked to them about for a long time. Sagamore did that as a distiller's edition. Way back when, it was really good. I wish I could have bought all of it. I bought 110 bottles of it, 108 bottles of it. It was that
Wow.
good. It was finishing the different components and then reconstitute it. They did a second version of it. They said never again, but then they did one a few years after. But I was a little disappointed because the first one they used a 6 year, which for me, younger ryes really do better. And you know, for me, I think
Mm-hmm.
depends on whose it is, but definitely if it's in a good barrel, 6 years is a nice sweet spot. Yes, a 10-year can be fantastic. So it's all, based on the barrel. So anyway, whatever they did, they used the 8-year, and to me, it was a little over oaked for the cocktail, for
Okay.
the Manhattan finish. The 6-year was just a nice sweet spot of where you just a little hint of oak, and made for an amazing. Literally, that was like boat Manhattan, I call it. Right, you're gonna go on your boat or wherever. You just got brought the bottle and a rocks glass, and then you were good to go, and maybe a block of ice or something.
Man.
I've never had a Manhattan.
Well, we're gonna have to change that. Now,
Well, whatever
also,
you do, when you buy your vermouth, don't let friends buy the vermouth in those green bottles
yeah,
that start
Okay.
with an M. Initials are M
uh,
and R.
yeah,
So find a better one.
Okay.
yeah. We got a guy we can talk to that can point us in the right direction
Good.
for doing
Yeah.
those. But
Hmm.
now I tell you, we really need to make a plan to go visit Canterbury Liquors. You guys
Yeah.
have some rocking single barrel releases coming, and the list is astounding. I would go broke, but I would have fun doing it.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Most people come once or twice a year. They fill up their suitcases or their trunks, and then they
Hmm.
come back again. Or they have friends who have friends, and we have. I
Mule.
apparently there are a lot of mules in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and my whiskey ends up in all kinds of places.
Yeah. Because I know you had mentioned 2XO was one.
Yeah, just showed up
Uh,
today. Oh my God, it's freaking delicious.
oh, and is
It's
that a gym 2XO?
This is a 2XO. It's two times. Let's see. It's a gem of Kentucky. Barrel number
Oh,
115.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
It's a
you,
good one.
Mary loves those Gem of Kentuckies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, they gave me a
the,
bunch of samples to pick from. I really wasn't gonna pick one because I was like, you're really expensive. But I tasted. I go, give me the samples. I know two of them I dialed in on. In fact, I think I still have the original sample here. It's 115. Yeah. Um, and I tasted it the next morning. I was like, damn, it's really good. And so when it showed up today, I was- so normally for me, I prefer malt over corn.
Mhm.
If I had to pick one. But this one was so delicious. I went back for four little pours, or maybe not so little pours. It was that good. I was in the store for a couple hours. I'm like, I need another pour. They're like, go buy your own bottle.
Mhm.
Uh,
But you also have some coming from Watershed,
yes.
Sagamore,
Yep.
but
We have
now
10.
one that really intrigued me, and I'm going to have to talk to Alex Castle about this one. But you scored a weeded bourbon from Augusta.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
Mm.
so she came to launch our 13-year Augusta in, I think it was late February. So they brought a bunch of samples, and
hmm,
they go, "You want another barrel?" I go, "Well, I bought two from them so far. It was quite, yeah, they're quite expensive, obviously, but really, really tasty. I mean, people thought I was nuts when I bought the 13-year Augusta. Not their fault, but somewhere by the time it got from Kentucky to Connecticut, it was $30 more than I thought I was going to have to pay for it per bottle. So it's
ooh,
$230 a bottle. Ouch.
yeah.
But it showed up the week before Christmas, and when people tasted it, they're like, damn you. I was like, so we're more than half sold out. I mean, it's only been like since Christmas to now. It's not that many months, and it's usually a slow time of year. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, we did really. We had a great time when she came to visit. In fact, speaking of the gin, she loved that gin that I made. That was
Oh.
barrel. She goes, so I told her I was gonna. She goes, how come the barrel's still shrink wrap? And I said, well, it's because I'm gonna make another barrel aged gin. And as she tried gin, she goes, when you get that gin, we'll have to like do a launch party. I'm like, but wait, it's only your barrel. She don't care.
Sounds like
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah, I said,
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna have
mean,
to save her a bottle.
oh, she's awesome. She's always so sweet and just
Yeah,
she always gives so much to people. She'll talk to everybody that comes up that says hello.
yeah.
And I mean, we enjoyed her time that she was here in Memphis at Old Dominic.
Hmm.
We miss her, but she's gone on to other and better things
Oh
for
yeah.
her. and her
Hmm.
husband, and of course, we always wish them the best. Um,
Yeah.
we are coming up on about 10 till the hour. How
Hmm.
about we open up some questions from our chat? Anybody have any questions you want to ask Irene? Now's the time to put them in. Um, and just so everybody knows in the chat, where is Canterbury Liquors located? In case they
It's
want to
in the
come visit.
quiet corner of Connecticut. It's the northeast corner. So if you were to fly here from wherever, you would fly to Providence. It's a 40-minute ride from Providence. From Hartford, it's about almost an hour.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, more cows than people. And I always advise eat before you come. So technically, we can give you 4 pours of a taste, but we can do a couple of tastings. So 10 minutes in between, but definitely eat before you come. And we can't do any tastings before noontime on any
Hmm.
day. So,
Okay. We have one here. Do you have, I guess, what you would consider a fantastic wood finish at your store?
so it was way back when, but then everybody's bastardized it. So now I'm like staying far away from it. So my most
Hmm.
favorite wood finish was my 12-year Whistle Pig in Amburana. The way it should have been done. Nobody else has done it right since.
Mm.
But so I can't even don't even want to talk about Amburana anymore. I would
Yeah.
say Sauternes, for definitely for single malts, I think is a beautiful finish for it.
Hmm.
Um, I would say those are that one's probably one of my favorite ones. Um, let's see what else would finish. Yeah, actually,
Oh, you
what I
just
really like is a really really well made uh, barrel.
Okay.
One that is yard aged for 3 4 years, made for the wine industry, and then rejected and then sold to a distillery that makes whiskey. Don't need a finish on it. If you have really really good distillate, you really don't need a finish on it.
Okay.
mm.
What would you say is your favorite wood finish for a whiskey or whatever?
Um, hmm. I actually really like uh, a Rivers finish because it has because it reminds because it's there's a lot of red fruit in it,
Hmm.
but those can be a little unbalanced. All right, if I had to pick one, it would be an SDR cast actually, an
Okay.
SDR cast from Spain,
Mm.
which with the right one, you think you're just have gone to whiskey heaven.
All right, we
For
have
sure.
we have one comment on here. The Crowded Barrel Maverick pick last year was amazing. Yes, it was. Yes.
Thank you. So now you
Uh,
definitely want to have the blend I did for them, which is blows the socks off that pick.
oh yeah,
Mm.
definitely. Fellow YouTuber here. Do you have a go-to bottle for your everyday pour?
So it's funny, I actually don't. I do and I don't. So I don't drink whiskey every day. If I had to be, if I was anywhere where I could always get Leisure Creek small batch for a bourbon, that's what I would
Mhm.
drink. If I could have an old Highland Park 12 anywhere I went, that would be my malt of choice. And for rye, so for rye, actually, the old Whistle Pig, the way it used to be, uh, is really or a good 95.5 rye. It doesn't have
Mhm.
to be anybody's. It just has to be a good 95.5 rye.
Yeah.
So the reason I say I don't really have a favorite is because when I'm not working in whiskey, I mostly drink gin because I don't have to think about it. Because when I'm pouring whiskey, and because we're talking whiskey, it's okay because I'm kind of working and it's okay. I want to start to think about the whiskey. I want to analyze it, even though I've already made it. I know what the profile is. I still want to analyze it to see if it's changed. So I don't drink whiskey randomly unless I'm on,
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, I know. I started exploring some gins, and forever it took a while until I discovered uh, the Japanese style
Hmm.
gins,
Okay.
and I I loved it. I still keep a bottle around because some of them that are coming out, and it's probably my fault buying more inexpensive, but the the, the harshness of son of the juniper in it
Hmm.
just really was a turn off for me. But
Yeah.
whereas the more citrus botanicals
Mm.
Hmm.
of the Japanese one, that lined up with my palate better.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of good gins out there. I think the what I found is when working with gins is that the juniper matters, where the juniper comes
Hmm.
from.
Yeah,
So there are definitely certain places I would stay away. I mean, it's great. Everybody wants to, locally forage and all of that. And I'm going, but the juniper, that's the star of your show. If you
yeah.
don't have a good juniper, I don't care where you live, you don't have a good juniper, please don't use it.
Mm.
Yeah, I may have to get some recommendations from you and try some out in the
Sure.
future. Here we go. Do you have any preference in the char level of the barrels that you pick?
Yes. Preferably three and below.
Hmm.
And if you have a heavy toast, slightly lower is also good. Two or three. More than that is just crazy.
Yeah.
So it's not. So here's the thing, right? It's really not so much about the char level. It's really about the staves themselves. When, how long they were yard aged, like whether it was a dry season when they were yard aged, did they stay out there in 2 dry years? Then you're still going to get a lot of tannins in the wood that haven't leached out. So
Hmm.
while all those other things help, ultimately, if you don't start with a good hunk of wood, then you got to work really hard to work around all the different undesirable notes that are produced by the
Yeah.
barrel. Because I was tasting some whiskey from distillery today, and the White Dog was great.
Hmm.
It had all the right notes in it, and but then once it went in the barrel for a few years, all of a sudden it kind of destroyed the palate a little bit. There are a lot
Mm.
of reasons why, and I understand why it happened the way it did, but I was like, that's kind of sad.
Yeah. Let's see here. Some additional questions. Um, Here's one. Have you been to any of the meaderies in Central Texas? Is mead something that interests you?
So it's yes and no. We actually sell quite a bit of it in the store. It's kind of funny. I was on a honey conference today, a honey summit today, and I got to taste honey from because it's honey is talk about terroir, right? Honey is just so specific as to what grows where the hives are.
Mm-hmm.
So the orange blossom is very, very popular. The one that was really amazing I tasted today was one where in Mexico with the avocados, Mexico and California, super
Mm-hmm.
dark and oh my God, it smelled a little bit more like molasses, but the
Oh.
mouthfeel was amazing, was heavy, almost like you barrel aged it, but they didn't. And then I got some from it was a radish, which you would think, the radish flower. So when they grow radish as a cover crop, rather than pick and eat them, then when the bees kind of buzz around and get the honey from there, it was really nice, really really interesting stuff. So yeah, so meaderies to work with, not at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
but I would like to find people who have honey so that I can offer my empty casks for them to fill because it's a mess. We tried it. It's a mess. So I donate barrels to my local beekeepers instead. And then when they're done and they give it back to me, then I start my projects with it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey. Um, let's see. One viewer asked, "Why do you like malt over corn?" Um,
So, so I let me qualify that statement. Um, So if you have corn like wood hat spirits corn, then I might
Mm-hmm.
have a different story to tell, right?
Yeah.
So, because yellow dented corn to me, which is majority of the bourbons that I made out there, they just have it's like an overpowering, like a dustiness, an overpowering note,
Mhm.
and unless your bourbon is made in skillfully, uh, the main note you're going to get when you drink it is going to be mostly be the corn. Whereas with the malt is like tofu, right? It's just kind of there. Well, that's not really true. The right malt with the right yeast can be amazing without much of anything else. But it can take on finishes really well. It's got yeah, I guess I say that because mostly what's available for us to get is mostly yellow dented corn.
Yeah.
If we could have other colored corns, I might like them equally. Which I know I'd love the red, white, and blue that I made with Gary, and the purple and orange corn that he had, the single varietal corn. Those two are really
Mm-hmm.
cool because when you smell it, you don't go, oh, that's just bourbon. You go, oh, what is that? It almost smelled like, oh, it's Irish whiskey. No, it's kind of sweet. So it makes for a more interesting nose when it's not just yellow dented corn, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. This could be a loaded question. Feel free to answer or skip. What is the worst bottle you have ever tasted? I know what mine is, and I've said it publicly, loud and clear. I did the whole, how dare you put this stuff out on the market speech. But have you had one like that?
Um, there are a lot of them that are really not good at all.
Yeah.
To say worse, I would say yes, and it wasn't a whiskey. It was a um, it was a potato gin, a potato-based gin.
Huh.
I don't know what was with it. It was just not good. Oh yes. Oh, I don't want to name names. I won't
That's
name
fine.
names.
You don't have to.
Okay, so actually recently, so equally bad as the potato gin that I had. It was just all earth and I love beets, but it was just they didn't belong in there. So recently I had a single malt, somebody's attempt to make a single malt, and I tasted it. I was like, the bourbon was fine. Their gin not so great, but only because there wasn't any no juniper in it. But the American single malt, I tasted it because I was, I'm on the American single malt, uh, bus here because I want to get it going. Uh,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I smelled it. It smelled like puke, and I was like, oh, is it me? Then I went and oh, it smells like puke again. So I'm like, do I really want to taste it? I'm like, I gotta try it, right? Oh, it tastes as bad as it smells. Then I said,
Oh,
well, you have a different batch number, and they go, why? I go, this one is just there's something really wrong with it. So then they got me a previous batch because I'm thinking maybe something happened, to the grains, whatever. That one was equally bad too. I'm like, shit, I couldn't, since I
yeah.
don't distill, I couldn't tell you what you did wrong, but whatever you stop making that right now because that was just awful. And but that same note though happened in Whistlepig, and I will name that just because I was so pissed at them that happened. That where because these guys are craft, so they're allowed to make mistakes like this. But Whistlepig, piggyback, it was batch number three.
Mm-hmm.
So batch one was fantastic because Dave was around then when that happened. Batch two launched in March of 2020, technically to go to on-prem, right? Because they
Mm-hmm.
thought that's where it belonged because it was lower proof and make cocktails with it and stuff. And because of the pandemic, all of a sudden they go, hey retailers, we need to get you some of this stuff. So I brought some in, loved it. It was really good. About like 3 cases in, and then we got the next batch in. And so I still had my first tasting bottle. It was fine. So we sold a bunch of them. And then one of my neighbors loves, whistle pig. So went to visit him one evening and he goes, maybe it's just my palate. I'm not loving this anymore. I go, what do you mean? He goes, there's just something wrong with it. It's like, oh, yeah, let me see. And I go, oh, that smells awful. Same thing, like this pukey
Mm-hmm.
kind of nose. So I said, tell you what, my bottle is still good. We're half and half. I'm going to give you mine. So I took it back to the store and I said, let me open another bottle. And it didn't smell great. and we left the glass of it out for the next day, and it was as if somebody had a really bad party the night before. So I called
Oh,
them, and because it was me, they just sent it all back. If it was anybody else, we may not believe them, but if it's you, send it all back. And then it
yeah,
took a while before they got that funk. I don't know what happened, but it was a while before I would um, another piggyback. So
yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah, so anything that smells like puke, man, you don't need it.
No.
No, not at all. Um, well, this is one I didn't know about. Somebody asking, are you a fan of the Brulotic gin? I didn't even know they made a gin.
Yeah, the botanist. Yes, kinda. I'll drink it, but I think they got too many botanicals in there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a nice gin. I will never throw it out of it. It's not my most favorite gin. I mean, they do a really cool education on it and everything, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm kind of simple that way. If I drink a gin, I'd like to be able to identify at least five or six of the botanicals, and
Mm-hmm.
then beyond that, I feel like it's a waste, right? You can take the juniper and then put the other five botanicals in there and make another gin out of it. Throwing too many things in there is like it's like making goulash or something. I don't know. I've never made goulash before, but it just sounded like a thing that,
Yeah,
throw
just
the
kind of
kitchen
throwing
sink in there.
everything in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not necessarily a good thing though, right? Because there's just some things that work really well together, and then some things that just cancel out. So I feel like when you do that, it's kind of a waste of botanicals. And maybe, maybe some whoever is that makes gins or a lot of botanicals can actually pick all those out. But that's the
Mhm.
top 1% of the population. Are we making gins for the top 1%? Or are we making gins for people to drink?
Yeah. All right. Two more questions. Um,
Hmm.
what was the most surprising pick that you were able to score? Was it a Scotch, a cognac, or a bourbon?
I would say probably a Scotch because it's all single malt, Scotch over here. So I was very surprised I was able to get a single barrel of Kilhoman.
Mm.
They only send four to the U.S. a year, and I asked very nicely, and I got one. And then I asked
Oh.
very nicely again the next time, and then I got a Glen Scotia single malt. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe this is happening. And I might be on my way to maybe pick a Nick Neen in the not so distant future. So yeah, so I mean bourbon barrels are easy to get.
Yeah.
Uh, Most of them are. The allocated stuff don't really give a crap about.
Yeah.
I will never see a Sazerac barrel ever, and that's okay with me because I did send them packing, and I said, don't keep sending me shit. Just get me off your list, so I'll never get one. And I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'd be happy if they sent me Scotch barrels for the rest of my life.
All right. Our final question in chat. What is your favorite American single malt?
Well, it's got to be my cigar malt. It
I,
was
I
it
was
was
going to say.
Virginia. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Virginia Distillery, company before, but for right now, it's got to be my cigar malt.
Yeah.
Just because I actually surprised myself and I taste, I'm like, dang, it's actually pretty good,
Hmm.
I never want to say that. I wait for people to tell me it's really good, but every once in a while I go get a little pour and I'm like, that's pretty damn nice.
Well, we are 10 over the hour.
Okay,
Is there anything else you want to share with the audience? Looks like we're out of questions.
okay. Um, I know. I think we've covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a lot of things keep me busy the rest of the year. But yeah, actually, so I'm kind of curious. Like, people keep talking about how, and I know it's like for my audience, there's no shortage of people wanting to buy, whiskeys that might seem a little pricier, but obviously they're hard to get, but they're good. Are people out there being like picky now to the point where, if it's under $50 bottle, are they being picky, or is it under $100 bottle that they're being picky? I'm just kind of, I mean, I know what
Well,
my customers like, but what do you guys see out there?
in our market, it's really the it seems like for the most part, the chasing of, the usual, uh, like Buffalo Trace products and stuff like
Hmm.
that. That's kind of died down quite a bit.
Hmm.
Uh, the ones that are seriously into drinking, they're looking at more of a quality over quantity and stuff of that nature. Uh,
Yeah, because we can even see, I mean, we shop exclusively with one liquor store in the Memphis
Hmm.
area,
Yep.
and they've had some bottles that are pretty pricey that if they're really good, they'll
Hmm.
buy them,
yeah,
especially that $150 mark.
and
Hmm.
They
yeah,
sold out because I went to go get, I think I bought two or three, and I went to get another one. They're
Hmm.
out, and that was their barrel pick. That was that, I forgot the
oh,
rare
it was a
oak.
rare character. It was a light whiskey. It was almost 21 years old,
Yeah.
but it was
Hmm.
done right.
Yeah, and it had like a
Yeah.
$150, 149
Yeah.
Hmm.
99
Yeah.
price tag. So yeah, people buy them. But
Um,
then again, I've seen stuff like Angel's Envy
Hmm.
that they came out with, and it was one of the cask strengths that is still sitting on the shelf.
yeah.
And that one was
Yeah.
like 75, but that was also with every bottle you bought, there was a donation made, I think, to St. Jude. So I
Okay.
really think it depends that if it's something supreme, people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
They don't care the
Yeah.
cost. But
Yep.
if it's something that doesn't really stand out, they'll
Mhm.
kind of look at it.
Hmm.
It's like, it's an Angel's Envy cast strength. It's this price.
Exactly.
I could get three of these other bottles for that price.
Yeah. But now,
Exactly. Yeah.
like Buckner single barrels are a huge favorite in the Memphis
Hmm.
market. Everybody loves them. They buy them up when they come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think uh, that's kind of what I'm seeing out there. Like the stuff that I have put out there, like with the King's Code and stuff like that. The
Hmm.
the price is what the price is, and I mean even the my cigar malt, which when people tasted it and told me how old they thought it was, uh, I was like, shit, man, the price just quadrupled there. I mean, but I knew I could have sold it for $200, but I didn't want to be that person, right? We had to get a good price on it because it was that special, but I wanted to make it so it was still affordable.
Yeah.
In the big scheme of things, it was affordable. Because so my thing is always like, who else is out there that has something, that is in sort of like I don't ever see myself in competition with any other bottle style. I just make what I make, right? But if
Hmm.
there's something out there that's similar, and I go, well, whatever their price is, if I can afford to sell at half price, that's what I'm gonna do because I think everything else is a little overpriced. But it's
Yeah.
so be it. But that's good to hear because that's kind of what I'm seeing out there too, at least in my area. Yes, people are if they're gonna make cocktails, they'll buy anything that's like $30. They used to buy things at $50, but not my
Yeah.
customers. I'm like, look, you only need one good cocktail, right? So will I make a cocktail? Will I make an old fashioned with my Augusta 13 year that's $230? Well, absolutely, but I only need one cocktail.
Yeah.
Because if it's that good, you're gonna sip it, and then you're gonna ponder. If you make something that has not a lot of flavor, then you're just gonna swill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So.
here's an accolade for you. Irene, your picks are fantastic. Got your Fireside and Buckner's my last trip. So
Nice.
yeah, you definitely have a fan there.
Thanks. Yeah, the fireside is a crazy thing, but I love what they do there. It's just so different because it's high altitude,
Hmm.
everything is like they don't even try to make it overproof, but it just is because it's so dry up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're good people. I like them. So
Yeah.
great.
And his wife likes,
Here we go. He had a follow up, and my wife loves that pink gin as well.
The pink gin,
So
yeah, the Cairo gin, yeah. I know it's funny when people kind of like gin, and then they try the pink Cairo gin, they're like, ah, crap, damn you. Now we like gin. Or it's either one of my barrel aged ones, or I actually have two barrel aged ones now, or the pink gin. The pink gin is fantastic. Someday I'll make a pink gin, but it's I want to wait for the popularity to fade first because
yeah,
there's so many
mm,
pink gins out there. So I just
yeah.
want to make
okay.
I
a standard classic.
sounds like I definitely need to up my gin game
Yeah,
and
because I
find
haven't seen
find
a pink
something.
gin. This is
Yeah,
kind of new to me. I'm kind of learning here too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, now
yeah,
I will
it's
take.
strawberry, I think rhubarb, I think strawberry rhubarb
Yeah.
based.
Now,
Yeah.
Okay.
I do take that back. There was one that we purchased, uh,
I'm
and
thinking.
it was very citrus forward, but like
Okay.
citrus zest more so than like citrus juice, and it was French. I
Yeah.
can't remember the name of it, but
Was it a blue bottle?
yes,
Yes.
Citadel,
Citadel.
or
Yeah. They make a
yes, that was
nice
it.
gin. Yes. And
And
affordable. Yeah.
yeah, it was affordable, and I got to sample it. It's downstairs
Downstairs.
on the
I was
bar.
thinking it might be up here because
Yeah.
I had
But
it one time.
the owner is like, you got to try this. Just try it. So I
Yeah.
did,
No.
and I was
Yeah.
like, damn it, put it in the box. Yeah, I'll take it with me too.
No.
And we've already
Yeah.
and like I said, I'm just branching into that
Hmm.
now. If I find stuff like that, I'm right in my wheelhouse, or
I think
something
you
that's not
might.
over junipered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you might like my next gin then. But anyway, so you will definitely like Boston Harbor Distillery has a Lawley's gin. It's an
Mhm.
inexpensive gin, citrus forward, not that much juniper. So that's pretty tasty. I use it to fix a lot of things. I use it to fix beers that don't taste right, and it makes sense because you mix a tonic with a gin. So why would you not like mix an IPA style, which has a little bit more on the briny bitter side, and then all of a sudden it becomes a really nice cocktail. But yeah, I'm thinking the gin that I'm going to be making is going to hopefully be quite balanced with the citrus and the juniper because I do like a good juniper. I don't like the piney juniper, which comes more
Yeah,
from the Piedmont region.
yeah.
And but the ones from Macedonia and from Bulgaria are really really nice. So that balance with some fresh citrus makes for a very enjoyable. It makes you think of summer instantly. When winter comes, you just go Negroni and be done with it. So,
I wanted to say we tried the gin at Castle and Key, and they had a
hmm
mixer for it that was kind of a citrus. But I
hmm
was like, oh, but you really
it,
got to
it,
dial back the gin because the gin was still
it,
kind of overpowering even over
hmm
that
over the
citrus.
mixer. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
and
Gin to me is kind of like whiskey that way. It really needs to be kind of in balance.
mhm.
I get that, you do all the different styles for different cocktails, but ultimately it still needs to taste like a gin before you put anything else in it. And then the mixes and all that enhance it rather than hide it.
Uh, Here, somebody giving you a shout out. Hi, Irene from Massachusetts. Thanks for hosting all of us and sharing your wisdom, Jonathan.
Hey,
Well,
you.
yeah, I
Yeah, no, he's been over with a bunch of buddies quite a few times. You gonna come see me in next week when our 2XO hits? Or come see us if you like lobster. Come the Saturday before Memorial Day. We have two wine tastings in the front of the store back to back. The main lobster truck is going to be outside, and then the where did it go? Oh, my single barrel from Watershed is launching that day. So this was a blend I did for them, sold out.
mm,
So
You need to make
uh,
a trip.
one thing that nobody would have guessed that I would have asked to do was to proof down a whiskey. Oh my God, I'm cast strength girl, but proofed it down in the barrel. So after
oh,
I did the 20 barrel blend for Watershed, Ryan, the distiller said to me, he goes, "Hey, we have some nice single barrel picks. If you want some, sure, well, send me some." So tasted all of them. I found one that I really liked, but it was overpowering. It was
hmm,
almost, I think it was in the high 130s, and I said, I really like this, but I think it's over extracted. I feel like it's over extracted. It's a little bit um, too tannic for me. Can you dump a bunch of water in it? Well, not a bunch, like a gallon of water, and then just pay no attention for 6 months. So somewhere in my head, not working in the distillery or working in a cooperage or any of those things, somewhere in my head, I thought that it would potentially calm it down and keep all the flavors and bring more sweetness out. And lo and behold, it did. It was amazing when he sent me the sample. I think it was about close to 6 months later. I tasted it. I was like, wow. Wait a little bit longer through the winter, and they just bottled it. I think maybe last month. Tastes fantastic. At 100 and low 130s. So
When you
so I don't always just cast strength all the time.
Yeah.
when you're asked to do that, do you do like the slow proof down process, or do you add it pretty much at one time and age it out?
So for this one, I wasn't gonna look at it for a while, so it did matter. If I was gonna like maybe have them bottle it in like a couple of months, 2 3 months. Thank you for that. Andalusia is fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, I would have then said slow proof it down a little bit, but I was like, you know what, there's no point in it because any ill effects, saponification from adding water that quickly, it will ease its way out if I don't have to look at it for 6 months, and that was my intention. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's the first time I ever asked to do it. Not something that I think I will often do, but it just felt like it needed it, and
mm.
I can't wait for that launch. That's going to be really nice.
And yeah, you got a response. Wine tasting and lobster sounds good. I think you had me try the watershed. I definitely will grab one. So definitely
Good.
got a
Yeah.
loyal fan base there. But that's what happens when you have you know great bottles there. With reasonable pricing and everything, you get a following, and that's what it's about. People building those relationships.
Yeah, and
And
they all advertise for me, which is awesome. Like I
yeah,
really don't advertise anywhere except at my gym, only so I can my business can pay for my pickleball habit. So I'm a sponsor there.
yeah, that was your hobbies are quite interesting. Let me see here. You mentioned the pickleball,
Yep.
but uh, you do cycling and kayaking, uh,
Hmm.
and then building garden rugs.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's my
tell me about
favorite thing to do. Oh, but before I forget, I just started playing senior women's basketball last November. I'm hoping to qualify for national senior games.
that. Oh,
Both, but double qualify. So I've qualified for pickleball already twice, and I'm hoping to requalify this year for next year's games, and then hopefully in basketball too. So, but that aside, yeah, garden rug. So there's Margaret Kiernan. I can't remember the last name. Starts with a K. She lived in Long Island, and I bought a book. Uh, so I used to be like I wanted a big yard. I wanted to do stuff in the yard because now I have a big yard but no time to do anything with it. But she makes I love uh, rugs, all different kinds, woven ones, and but just something about the art about it. But taking it outside, it's really cool. So you say do like a 8 by 12 space that you
mhm,
you create a frame for, or you could just freeform it, which is what I did with my fire pit area, and then you take these bricks and you lay them out, and you can make all kinds of patterns, right? There's herringbones, there's if you
Hmm.
find some slightly curved ones, or create them that we can cut them that way. So it becomes this beautiful geometrical structure that is, flat, that you can walk on, and it's a useful space, and it looks beautiful. So I created one during the pandemic because I was bored. Because my company I was consulting with, can you take some time off? I'm like, sure, I'll take the whole summer off. And it was my very first month that I was not doing that, and I had a pile of bricks in the back. Um, my wife said to me, she goes, "Gotta get rid of those bricks." I'm like, "Okay." So I did. So I told my guy that's doing my landscaping, I was like, "Can you just flatten this area? Let's put a fire pit there." And then I said, "Oh, I got all these bricks. I think I'm gonna start doing a little spiral with them." And I just started making crazy designs with it. And so he goes, "Hey, I'll loan you a masonry saw." Looks at my garage. He goes, "Just don't forget to put water in it, because clearly you know how to use tools." I said, wait, where do I even turn this thing on? But oh my God, it's such a good time with it. I mean, it's not a little scary because, this big thing of splashing water and all kinds of, cutting all different kinds of bricks, and some of them quite small. But I learned how to do it pretty safely, and I still got all my fingers. So I created one, and I can't wait to create another one in like the middle of the backyard, because that'll be such a cool spot Because you know how like you go to people's houses, they have these beautiful, rugs on the floor, and then put a
Yeah.
table over it. You could do that on the outdoor space. Just, even if you never sit there, it doesn't matter. It's just a nice piece of art, I think, in the yard.
Well,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean that
I know
you're
it's
getting her
very
all
eclectic.
frustrated with this right now.
I
She's over
haven't
here
done a
going,
lot in the backyard a
hmm.
couple of, well, not since I built the fence.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the thing is, for me, as you know, I mean, with my work, I always go in 150%. I just can't help myself. So same thing with the whiskey stuff, right? I think
right.
most people would kind of maybe dabble a little bit. For me, I was like, I'm gonna do this 150%, which is
Hmm.
why I, do it at the rate that is really probably not humanly safe to do. But
Well,
no,
we
nothing to do with drinking, just just
yeah,
just pursuing the next thing out there because there's so much stuff out there. There's so many craft distilleries here and in Europe, right, that they are not getting the attention.
Mm.
And I feel like, if I could, find ones that make good stuff to begin with and just need to kind of help a little prod along, that hopefully with my supposed fame that I could help them. And then it's a win-win, right? Because we're both small, and so it's kind of nice to kind of grow together that way, I think. So that's what, I think that's what I hope to do for maybe the next 15, 20 years. We'll see.
yeah.
We enjoy doing that. We've been to like JT Mullick and 7-3. We went to Iron Root. Uh, we
Iron
just
was
love,
awesome.
I
Oh
know,
yeah,
we just love going to these smaller distilleries
Hmm.
and then just seeing how they do it. And everyone's always so passionate about it.
yeah,
So you kind of feel into that passion with it, and we try to give those videos that passion with it. That way
Hmm.
people can see, you know, what you're drinking. People are creating this
yeah,
with love.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot of emotion and hard work that goes into bringing that what you're pouring into that glass. And the main thing is to keep those people in mind while you're enjoying that.
Hmm.
Exactly, which is why I don't like to, like trash other people's brands or anything like that. But Whistlepig knows that I bought 10 barrels. I
They
get to
have
say
one
what I
bad
want to
one.
say about them. What's that?
Well,
So they just have one bad one.
Exactly. That was one bad one. I mean, they let me blend the 15-year cask strength, and
yeah,
even like, and then a few years later, when I went back to buy more barrels, I said, if I don't like it when I ask to blend, they go, oh no, we don't let people blend. I go, here, let me show you, because I knew they were gonna say that. So I brought my 15-year that I blended. I'm like, well, here it is. Y'all let me blend a few years ago. They're like, oh shit. But I didn't. I found the barrel. They were good enough. I didn't have to blend it. I mean, while it's nice to blend for my store, it's a lot of work that way. Back then it was because my intention was always to buy a single barrel, not to blend. But
yeah,
then over time, when everybody was producing so much stuff and not all of it was good, right? Because it was like, oh my God, it's a single barrel because everybody wants one. And I'm probably partly to blame because I think my first 2 years in business, I bought a barrel every other week,
wow,
which is really kind of crazy.
yeah,
But I didn't do it to like show off. I didn't do it to, like let other people know, like try and catch up. But it was none of that. It was just like I found barrels that were really good, so I just kept buying them. And so yeah,
Hmm.
I think we were like, yeah, it was a barrel every other week. It was an amount of 26 the first year and like 27, 28 the second year.
wow,
A little mind blowing. But the thing is, if you ever come to my store, you realize I'm in the middle of freaking nowhere. So if there's no reason for anybody to come shop in my store, if all I carried was the regular core stuff, right? Because you
Hmm.
can
hmm,
get it anywhere else. It's a lot cheaper. You can get it at Costco, you can get it at, Total Wine, at Specs, wherever it is you go. You can get it in Massachusetts cheaper than what you can get in Connecticut. So I had to build it so it was special. And it's not just the products on our shelf. My crew's very well trained, and we have a good time. When people come to shop there, they go, "We want to work here." We go, "Sorry, we're not hiring. Plus, we don't really work. We all volunteer
yeah,
here, which is what it feels like, and it's really a nice environment. They're knowledgeable enough in their areas so that when I'm not there, they can still help customers. and so it's it's a good place to be. It's like Cheers, the show Cheers. It's kind of
Mhm.
the good hangout place, and yeah, and that's what I wanted it to be because since I wasn't a very good employee, I wanted to make sure that my employees want to come to work.
Okay.
So I made the workplace so that they can't wait to show up for work.
Well, you
So
can be a poor employee, but a fantastic employer.
Yeah.
that was my goal because that was the whole thing. If I see somebody not do something the way I like it, I said, I'm gonna be that when I grow up someday. And I did that. My very first job, uh, I was a teacher for 3 years because I said, man, you all don't teach the subjects correctly. It's boring as hell. So when I become a teacher someday, I'm gonna make it interesting, which I did. For 3 years, I mean, how do you make English subject interesting? How do you make phys ed interesting? I did and made it really fun for the kids, and challenged them, and they had a great time. So to me, it's like, come on, we're gonna have to go to school all year for 10 months out of the 12 months out of the year, or go to work for 40 hours a week or more, and it's not good if it's not a fun place to be in.
Yeah.
So which is why I chose the places I wanted to work at. But now being, on the other side of the fence, I'm like, I want to make my workplace a fun place for people to want to be at. You get to learn. If you do something, you don't have to have a great palate. You get to develop it, and you may not be as good as the next person, but hey, you're learning. And it's great, when you tell somebody something, and then your customer comes back, oh, that cocktail you told me about was great. And so for my employees to, have the experience of getting really good feedback because of the advice or information that they give to employees. I mean, that's to the customers. That's pretty special.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like we tell everybody, find you a place where you can relate to the people there, that their palettes online with yours, and build
Hmm.
those relationships.
Hmm.
You'd be surprised. They wind up becoming a lot like family
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
over time, and
yep.
it makes that experience that much more fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
and I
get
always tell people, look, my barrel picks are going to be $5 more a bottle potentially because other people don't always go out to the store to pick the barrels, right? They send
Mhm.
them samples. I mean, during the pandemic, it was hard to travel, but for me, I want to be there because if whatever you gave me is not good enough, I'm going to keep looking, as
Yeah,
long as
hmm
you let me. If you don't let me, then I don't even go out to visit. I always ask first, what if I don't like what you give me? Oh, you're going to like it. I go, so you're not going to let me through the rick house? Nope. I'm like, then you know what? You can keep your barrel pick. I don't care who
yeah,
you are. So I've done that to some distilleries. So I know it's like I'm like making enemies out there, but not really. I'm like, I can't waste my time there. If you're gonna force me, because it's my money I'm spending, don't force me to
right,
buy something that I can't get behind. You may not like it, but if I like it, then I can sell it. If I don't like it, I can't get behind it. And
right,
that's my number one rule when I'm picking barrels. I need to like it enough to go, okay. I need to like it enough so I can sell it. So,
And it's kind of like looking at a car on a car lot. How do you pick? You don't want to just look at five. You want to
hmm
look at all of them. So
yeah, like
I
you want to
think
compare all the
experience
stuff.
is very.
Yeah, back to your point about having people to go do picks with, right? You got to pick what you want if you're the one that's going to have to fork the cash over to buy it.
yeah,
So
yeah. Because like you said, you have to be the one to sell it, and if it's not something you're behind, people are going to be able to notice.
Mm.
exactly, yeah. And case in point, the 2XO barrel that came in today. So usually when something comes in, they always go. I always crack it open because I like it to get a little bit of air first. So it usually shows up in the morning. So this afternoon about 3:30, I had it at the store. So we tried it, we liked it, and then we tried it again and we liked it. I go, okay, this one's gonna move because you
Hmm.
all like it, which means when they all like it, when people come in, what's new here, and we don't talk price. As most of the people that come to my store know. So the pricing is on the retail side. My tasting room, which is as big as my retail side, is just filled lined with barrels and bottles, and so there's no prices on that side on purpose because when you come into a tasting, I want you to have the experience of tasting, not knowing what the price is. If you
Right.
come with a group that's big enough, usually if it's at least 8 or 10, I try to cap it at 12. I give everybody a box, a six-pack box, and more boxes we need. I go, look, this is no pressure to buy. All right, this is for you to, when you taste something you really like, pick it up, put it in that box. All right, we don't care about the price. We don't worry if we can't afford to buy it, whatever it is. And then we'll fill the box. And invariably, with some groups, some of Jonathan's buddies, sometimes we need more than one box. And then at the end of the tasting, then we go, okay, now we know that everything that's in your box you like. Because once you tasted a few things and get talking, you forget, did I like that one or whatever? You know it's in that box, you put it in there. So then we go, okay, right, then we can talk price because people ask me, what's the price of this? When I had 20 single barrels, I knew the price. Well, I don't know the price anymore. I can tell you what I named it and the ABV better, or the taste profile better than the price, because to me, that in my mind is irrelevant, right? If you taste
Hmm.
it, really like it, then just buy it because life is short.
Exactly.
So,
Money comes and goes.
yeah,
Yep.
pretty
And
much,
you can't take it with you.
you
Yeah.
can't,
No.
and so you should, always share with somebody. But that's, kind of like our kind of mantra is, if you like it, and maybe like some of our more local guys are like, you should like just put it in an envelope, and donate $10 every week or whatever it is, whatever it needs to get to for you to buy the bottle, and we're cool with that. It's kind of like layaway,
Yeah.
layaway liquor. That's what it is, layaway liquor.
Layaway liquor. Hey, a new business venture there for you.
That's right.
Yeah. Do like Mark Carter, put the little lockers up and stuff, and
I like that.
yeah.
Yeah, we have it.
Well,
It's called the upper shelves because they're all people's names on it and stuff, and especially if they
there you
pay
go.
for it though. Yeah, they
Oh
pay
yeah.
for it because we'll call and pay for it. And I would tell people, I still have a bottle from almost 6 years ago now, five and a half years ago. Somebody called, pay for a bottle, and it's the receipt still up there. They haven't shown up for it. Nobody's opened it yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Someday, when I get really thirsty, it's the only bottle left. I might, but no.
Or they'll have that little moment of, oh, I forgot. I need to
Yeah.
get out there.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
can't
so we
imagine.
hang on to them. I mean, we tell people to try and come get it, sooner and later. But some people live far away, so I get it. So we just stash it away somewhere. Just call and pay for it, then it's yours, and until you show up. So I think it's a good policy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting
Perfect.
late, Irene. I know
Yes.
you've got a lot going on. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
being so generous with your time and answering the questions. Fascinating stuff you're doing. Guys, if you are in the area and you go to Irene's store, keep going. Bring friends with you. Share the love with everybody. I know Mary's already kind of hinted that we need to
We
make
need
a
to make a road
trip.
trip.
So we'll be making a trip in the future.
All right,
Uh,
just let me know ahead of time, because I'm always on the road. So
oh yeah, oh yeah.
yeah, but
But
maybe I'll
thank
see
you.
y'all in Missouri. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would
absolutely.
like to do that. I got to
Yeah.
check my schedule because that's day after anniversary. So it sounds like a good anniversary
Sounds
trip.
like a nice anniversary trip to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's
mine too.
awesome.
But
Yeah.
all right,
All
but
right.
thank you so much.
Oh, thank
And
you.
guys, make sure to reach out in the area. Go visit, buy some of these fantastic barrel picks, and just share the love. Irene, thank you so much. Everybody,
All right.
have
Good
a
night, guys.
great night. Thank
All
you
right.
for
Take care.
joining us. Have
Yeah.
a
Bye bye.
good one.
Bye.
Bye.